Hey, I just came back from a conference that was mandatory for one of my classes. Um, Basically, what they do is they have a bunch of people who are already established in the business industry already. And so they get those people as speakers. They have each one of them present every about hour or so. They have maybe about 30 minutes. They say their piece. Usually, from what I have seen, it's them mostly just talking about their career, how they got to where they were, which is good because it's mainly catered towards business students. The bad part is that it's also catered towards them taking specific business courses, which means that it's mandatory for them. And so it's mandatory for me to go. I guess this is not really my review of it, but really just some preliminary thoughts. All in all, I guess I will say that it was an overall net positive experience. Was it 3 hours long for me? Yes. Could I have done something better in those 3 hours? Debatable. Did I want to spend those 3 hours there? Again, debatable. I haven't yet reflected and seen whether what I have learned from that talks is something that's going to help me. And so that brings me on to the presentation. So I go into the presentation hall. Because it's for class, I need to sign my student card in. It's kind of annoying because I had to swipe every time I watched a presentation. Since I did 3 back-to-back, I had to leave the hall, go all the way back, swipe my card again, and then go back to where I was sitting again. Maybe not that annoying. It took maybe an extra 5 minutes, but it did kind of suck just to get out of my seat, get kind of kicked out of the hall. The same hall that I would go into 5 minutes later. Anyways, first presentation, not the best. I'm going to be honest. It really focused on using AI in your career. And I don't necessarily mean in a thoughtful way. It was more as a everything tool. I didn't really agree with that. The example that I have from that presentation was your baseline of knowledge should be ChatGPT, because anybody can put any information into ChatGPT and get an answer. But in their same example, they were talking about hiring a junior intern or something like that. And so when they're giving an interview and they ask, do you have any questions for me or anything like that? And sometimes, I'm just inferring here, but sometimes they would probably get questions like, oh, what do you think I need to succeed in this role? Or how's the company culture like? Or stuff like that. They can instead put questions into ChatGPT and ask it, what should I ask my interviewer? And this way, they can get insightful questions during their interview, or when they ask their interview, when they ask the person that they're interviewing. I don't know what to think. Well, I know what I'm thinking. I don't know how to think about that in a further, in an analytical way. Like how? Wow. It's very, is eye-opening the right phrase? I don't want to say eye-opening because that, in a way, I will phrase it like this. I learned something about people. That some people prefer this method over what I think is a more genuine connection. Again, using that same situation, if that's all the questions that the person can come up with, that's all that they have. By asking ChatGPT, you're almost saying, okay, well, I don't necessarily care about this position. I just need to ask something for the sake of asking something. And that's kind of the entire vibe that I got from that presentation. Doing something because you have to. This being said, I can't say that I didn't learn anything from it. I saw their presentation style. I saw, of course, their upbringings, their career growth, and the approach that was taken there. It might not necessarily be what I want in store, but this has worked for this person because they are where they are right now. They're the ones standing on stage and I'm not. So credit to them where credit is due. That was insightful, for lack of a better term, to me in a way. Now, I'll skip the second presentation. The third presentation that I watched, from almost minute one, I knew that this person was an amazing speaker. Their cadence, their tone, how they communicated things was very clear, concise. It seemed very, how do I say it? I don't want to say manipulated, but the way that they were able to use what they had was very, very good. I think what most spoke out to me from that presenter was that hard skills can get you a job, but poor soft skills can get you fired from a job. And so he goes on to explain how important soft skills are, as well as hard skills, and how he continued his education, but also was able to do things that really interested him. I think the key distinction here was not what he needed to do, but him directly showing that there's some sort of passion behind this. Like, I want this. It goes beyond need of, I need to do my dishes. I need to clean my house. I need to clean my room. I need to do this assignment because I am being asked to. But when that gets switched to a want, it's almost more powerful in a way. It resonated with me more. I found myself reflecting a little bit about what I want to do, where I want to see my career go, not where I need it to go, per se. And so I think this key distinction was revolutionary to me, in a way. Don't get me wrong, I'm not hearing things that I haven't heard before. I think it's just nice to hear it again and to also have the experience of reflecting on that again. I think all in all, one thing that I found myself reflecting on, especially towards the third presentation, was the idea of being positive. The past little bit, and I think you can kind of see it with the actions of my videos, like school is kicking my butt, or I don't know, some other negative title. It's very easy for me to get pigeonholed in that mindset of, I hate this, I really don't like this. This is how it played out. This is what I would rather have done. It's very easy for me to do that. But for me to try and take a step back, the reason why I'm saying that so slow and so pained is because it's so hard for me to take a step back. And that when I'm hearing other people say to me, you need to look at the glass half full, or like, you're in this situation, you need to look at it optimistically. It's just so hard, and I just I dislike that as well. But it is so true, and I think I'm kind of at a point where I have at least come to terms with myself that that's what I need to do. Maybe I'm not at that point where I need to, or where I can accept other people saying it and take that as constructive feedback, but I can at least recognize it. I can at least recognize that when somebody says that to me, that, maybe 5 hours from now, yeah, maybe I was a little bit negative then. And so I should be a little happier. I should hold my chin up higher. I should, keep my body more open because even though I'm doing something I don't necessarily want to be doing, I should be making the most of it. A lot of jumbled thoughts from this video. I wish I had a better agenda. I wish I had a script, but I also did want to try something new than in the past couple videos where I did have a script. And so I hope this still felt put together and cohesive, because that is something I do want to work on. Thank you.